Hey Freedom Family, I'm Mark, and I'm so glad you're here at _freedom4life_, where we give you the tools, the truth, and the knowledge to take you from where you're at to where you're called and created to be. Question for you. Have you ever had this project that you had to do, this task that you took on, or these multitudes of things that you said yes to, and all of a sudden they're all here and they all need to get done? Have you ever had that feeling of anxiety that's coming up that makes you feel like you're getting overwhelmed? Well, if that's you, then this is the conversation that you need to be a part of, because we are going to show you 2 things you could do to just crush that feeling of being overwhelmed in your life once and for all. So let's get started, shall we? And as always, before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to become a part of the Freedom family, and also hit that notification bell so that you know every conversation that we're having and you get to be a part of it. So here's the interesting thing about it, right? This feeling of being overwhelmed. How do you deal with it? How do you cope with it when you're feeling like there's just too much going on? What action do you take to move forward? And frankly, sometimes, how do you even get to take a breath, right? Sometimes you feel like you can't even breathe deeply because there's too much that is weighing on your mind. Well, before we get started into the tools of getting it done, the thing I need to tell you is there is hope. There is hope for you to be able to not just overcome it, but to have a victory that makes sure that you won't be overwhelmed any longer. These tools that we're going to give you today really start with understanding this, that we need to be able to master our emotions, to recalibrate our thoughts and our ideas where we need to, and be able to stop the negative conversation on the inside of our head that's stopping us from having the life that we're created for, but also giving us this feeling of overwhelm where we don't even want to move forward. The truth of the matter is that sometimes we're dealing with the fact that we're trying to take on too much, or we're having a whole bunch of things that we feel like we need to do, or we're having an expectation for our life that's so much higher than we think it should be. But all that being put aside, let's get to that first tool. And the first tool is really this, and maybe you didn't know about it in your life, but I've seen it in my own life. Sometimes I'm looking at this mountain in front of me, this large task or activity that I need to do. Kind of like this door here. You know, I put up this door. I think I mentioned it in a previous video. I did all of this work to put this barn door up. But here's the interesting thing. I'm not a carpenter. I'm not a handyman. I'm not a person who's really an expert in tools. I'm just kind of a regular guy. And so my wife had the idea to put this door up, and I don't know if you can tell or not, but these are individual planks of wood. This whole project came with 2 boxes full of materials that I needed to figure out and to put together. And you know, like I know, that if this thing doesn't turn out right, the whole world is going to know it, because it's going to fall off the hinges, or there's a multitude of things that can happen. So overwhelming can happen with handyman stuff at the house, with your job, with relationships, with just carrying on too much in your life all at once. It's this mountain of things, this mountain that you're looking at. And sometimes the very first thing, and in fact, every time, the very first thing that you need to do is to get your eyes off the mountain, the whole job that you need to do, and focus on the first step. Your first key to victory in overcoming being overwhelmed is that. Take your eyes off the mountain and concentrate on the first step, the next step that you need to take. See, because every task of whatever level, of whatever many activities, right? There's a multitude of steps it takes to do anything of significance. But here's the interesting thing. They all happen one step at a time. And so the biggest tool you can get to stop being anxious and overwhelmed is to say this one phrase in your head: what do I need to do right now? Whether you're a college student trying to get a degree or finish out your thesis, or trying to get a good grade, or you're a corporate person trying to figure out how to move your business from here to there, or you're a person in your home trying to figure out, hey, how do we move our relationship forward? Whatever the task is, it doesn't matter. Every one of them takes a next step. And I find in my life, and for the people who have gained the victory in their life in life mastery, the victory starts by taking the first step, not worried about the 1,000 steps after that. You don't need to know the whole plan. You don't need to have an idea on how to conquer the whole world, but how do I conquer this moment? How do I conquer this day? How do I take that next step forward? When I understand the next step I take and I focus there, all of a sudden I start to progress in overtaking that mountain in my life. Which is how this task was done, and I'm sure you've done it in tasks before. So the first thing is this: Hey, don't worry about the mountain, worry about your next step. The question to ask yourself is this: what do I need to do right now? It's okay to have a big picture idea of, this is the goal I have and this is the thing that needs to get done. And that's great to start there. But when you start there and stay there, you really never accomplish anything in most circumstances. So, hey, what's that next step? What do you need to do today? What do you need to do right now? What one decision, what one action, what one idea, what one concept, what answer do you need to find right now? And focus on that. And then focus on the next one after that. The second thing is this: it really is a 2-word affirmation that I give myself. And in that affirmation, it really helps me to recenter my mindset and my thought process, where my energy and the ideas and the concepts move me towards where I need to be. And it's these 2 words: focus forward. Focus forward. With me, that's a mindset that reminds me that, hey, focus ahead, right? It doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter the challenges that have happened. It doesn't matter the mistakes that you may have made in the past. Hey, focus forward. And in my mind, when I say focus forward, I understand that means, okay, take your step forward. Don't worry about what's happened. Worry about what you're doing. So focus forward is your second key to victory in overcoming being overwhelmed. Don't focus on the big things. Don't focus on, I shouldn't have done this. Don't focus on the mistakes you made, the yeses you said that shouldn't have been said, the things that you thought you could do that you said yes to that now you're wondering if you can. Focus forward. And in focusing forward, you're going to be able to have the life that you're created for. You have it on the inside. Being anxious and overwhelmed is not something you need to deal with, you need to manage, you need to try and continue to manipulate in your life. It's something that needs to be destroyed so that you can live the life that you're created for. It'll come up sometimes. It doesn't matter if it comes up to face you. What matters is what you do when it does. And those 2 things are going to give you a victory. Take that next step, focus on what you need to do right now, and give yourself that understanding. No, I'm going to focus forward. The feelings come up, that fear, that worry, that anxiety comes up. Focus forward. Say it until you do it. Do it until you see the victory. And that mountain will suddenly become a molehill, and you'll have the life that you're created for. You have it in you, and we are here for you to make it happen. And so continue to do that. But today, focus on today. This next moment, this next action, this next decision, and in that you'll have the victory. You'll overcome whatever comes in your way, and you'll have the life that you're created for. Hey, I'm Mark, and I'm glad you're here at _freedom4life_. We give you the tools, the truth, and the knowledge to take you from where you're at to where you're called and created to be. As always, part of those tools are our videos, these conversations, this content that you get the opportunity to have with us, and we get the opportunity to have with you. But there is a course that we have called Life Mastery that gives you a step-by-step instruction on how to have the life that you're created for. If you're interested in that, DM me. We have Facebook, we have Instagram. Check out those links and DM me and let me know. We can have a conversation on how you could be a part of that course that'll change your life forever. But in the meantime, share this video with somebody you know who maybe deals with anxiety or being overwhelmed, or re-listen yourself so that you can have these tools, simple tools that will actually profoundly change your life forever. Share it with those people and do this for me. Dominate your day.